Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta. Right in the eye. Oh man, is that what it feels? Is that what it feels like? Oh man, I had no idea.
Just like beer.
You're so fancy with your Coors Light.
I know. Where'd you get Coors Light?
Somebody donated it to the tailgate last week, and so it came home with me, and I was like, "I'll drink it."
I feel it was right when we were packing up. I feel like there was like a bunch of extra booze that somebody had just dropped into our coolers.
Well, I saw there was a 12-pack of Coors Light put behind our coolers. I just saw it sitting there from like early on, and then I forget who it was. I want to say it was Susan. She says, "I'm just going to donate this to the cause," and I'm like, "Well, my name is Cause, so thank you for the donation. We appreciate it." Welcome back, guys.
How did we do on the beers Saturday?
We actually put a lot away, although I did help our sorority out with some of the excessive drinks that we had. So I confirmed they were of drinking age. I was not breaking any laws. I told them that none of this alcohol could go to anybody that was not of age, and I'm sure they adhered to that completely, because why would they not, right?
As long as you gave it to one person that was of age, you're good.
I carded her, and then
He did.
and I'm like, oh my god, 2003 is legal drinking age now.
Great.
Yeah, that was rough. Almost as rough as watching that piss poor of a game that we saw on Saturday. Man, I think this is the first time that we've looked worse from week to week. I think we looked better against Chattanooga than we did against Tech. I thought we looked better against Vandy than we did against Chattanooga, and I think that we regressed. I don't know. This is the worst looking team that we had out there this season under McGee's team. What do you guys think?
We were in the negative space then, is what you're saying. The team was that bad preseason.
Well, the third quarter looked good. We looked like we actually did have
the first half of the third quarter.
And then we have to settle for a field goal that we miss.
Momentum killer.
Gone. Was that even in the third quarter? That was the third quarter, right?
Yeah, it was all third quarter. We had the chance to tie or take the lead. We should have taken the lead. We didn't. Miss the field goal. All that momentum. Not that we would have potentially won the game anyway, just based on how we were playing. But you kill the momentum by missing that. To tie the game up, to kind of energize the rest of the team. I knew at some point our defense was going to bend way too far. I mean, they were on the field for like 40 minutes, 39 minutes, some crazy stat. I didn't even look at stats because I don't really want to know.
Well,
everybody was saying they were tired, and I'm like, I don't understand why they. It was early on. There were people were saying they were tired, and I'm like, they're good enough to get off the field. I don't know what's happening.
It wasn't that bad. Time of possession. There's a new AI feature in the show notes that I use, and so I was like, "Give me box score from," and I have no idea if this is correct or not because I also asked him to give me the men's basketball schedule, and that was wrong. But it had us playing Georgia Tech this season, which it's not happening. But anyhow, it says 31 minutes that Trash Down South had to our 28 minutes, and maybe we picked up some of that on the back half of the game, but it was relatively even there. I don't know. This just did not. It's an unacceptable loss to me. Like anytime you lose against Trash Down South, it's unacceptable. But like this was set up to be the perfect type of situation. We had a bye week. We had the time off to get that extra prepared, that extra healthy. They were coming off getting their asses destroyed by an SEC Ole Miss team. Like this should have been that game where we were able to have our way with them, and it looked like we had no idea what we were doing out there on the football field at all. It looked horrible. And I was somewhat sober because I had to drive home.
And that was probably the worst part of it.
It was so bad. Don't ever be sober during this game. That's a horrible idea.
So I think your AI is, don't trust it. They had possessed the ball 39 minutes and 10 seconds to our 20.
Okay. Yeah, don't trust AI. Never trust AI.
It's almost double the amount of time. I mean, we're definitely gassed in the fourth quarter and probably part of the third too. The craziest stat to me was the running game. I mean, they owned us on the line of scrimmage, offense, defense. Didn't matter. But their defense supposedly gave up so many rushing yards to opposing teams, and we had 29.
Is that what it was?
Total rushing yards the entire day.
Well, I did
see that.
Oh, I did see that we had Veer was the leading passer of the game, and Hirsch was the leading receiver of the game. Their dual bag running back was the leading rusher of the game. Like, it's not like we were not doing something. It was just we didn't do anything.
We made Veer try to do too much. I mean, with no running game, they basically knew most plays were going to be passing. And they took advantage. I mean, Veer made mistakes, no doubt.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't his best game, but I don't know. If you're a defense, you know the ball is going to be thrown 3 times out of 4. You're going to get some picks, and they did.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, but they were double covering Ted most of the time,
They were.
we were still throwing it to him, and it's like, why are we not spreading the ball around a little bit more? It seemed like kind of weird because we saw him being double covered very easily. I mean, even that into the second half pass, I think take one of those interceptions off the board. That was just a Hail Mary, whatever. That doesn't
Right.
count. Those don't count. Like, really, that's not about Bear. That's like whatever. You just did a Hail Mary, but like, why did you pass it to him? He was
Twice in a row, same pass, same play.
They're like all over him. What are you doing? Like, cradle, like who else can you throw it to? You should be able to throw it to somebody else.
Unless Hurst can jump 12 feet in the air and be the only person that touches the ball, don't run the same play twice when they almost intercepted it the very preceding play.
Dude, would that be awesome? I want to see a superhero type of football game where like people can just do weird acrobatic stuff, like jump 12 feet and catch the ball. I mean, I want our team to do that. I don't want to see that from.
Did you watch the end of the Georgia game?
Oh my God!
Did you see that play? That holy shit play that Bama guy did?
He
twisting he did the little twisty thing.
Yeah. Oh, the 17-year-old kid.
Holy shit! A 75-yard touchdown by Bama. That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get us off base, but I watched a clip of that and was like, "Holy God!" Good thing I wasn't watching because that would have made me cry or something.
Yeah, it's one of the. I mean, you guys are in a different situation because Ryan, you grew up being living in Athens, being a Georgia fan. Tim, you've been with Georgia fans for like forever and everything. I grew up with friends being Georgia fans, but I just never cared. I was like, if they win, awesome. If they don't win, I'll watch Georgia. I don't really care. It's fine. But I mean, I put that game on and they were down 28-0, and I was like, oh, and they came back, and I found myself actually cheering for them just because I love to see that kind of comeback story, like the Kim Kardashian thing. And yeah,
didn't you feel it was kind of like a parallel to our game somewhat? I mean, we were down 24-7. They were down 28-0. They came back. We came back. We just didn't do the thing they did.
Well, the better connection, I think, was, and I didn't even realize this at the time, but the Falcons playing the Saints on Sunday. So I mean, I had my 2 most hated teams in all of sports were in Atlanta the exact same time. It's why God sent the hurricane through, but to try to cleanse the city, which it's horrible to say. There's a lot of bad stuff that happened. We'll talk about that in a little bit later on. Just jokes here, but I do hate the Saints and I hate Trash Down South. And anyhow, so. The Saints have never led the series against the Falcons except for the very first win. They beat the Saints they beat the Falcons the first time they played. Same thing with Georgia State. Trash Down South beat us in that very first game, and they've never led the series. We beat them down in Statesboro 34-7, and we've owned it ever since. We still own it right now. It's 6-5. We own it. But this game on Sunday was it was even. I forget how many times they had met each other, but it was exactly even. We'd won 50% of the time. We needed this game to keep that edge, and I was like, we can't lose. I can't lose to the Saints and Trash Down South in the same weekend and back-to-back days, 24 hours apart from each other. So at least I got that. Although I was talking to one of my Trash Down South friends, he messaged me and he says, which one means more to you? Beating the Saints or beating Trash Down South, which is why I put that thing out there on the Twitter account. Which rivalry means more? Does college rivalries mean more than professional rivalries? And I was like, it double sucked because lost to Trash Down South on Saturday, and then stupid Trash Down South Younghoe Koo is who wins the game. It was like watching TDS win 2 times in back-to-back days. It was just a bad weekend, even with a win. It was, man.
You gotta look on the bright side there. Come on, man.
What's the bright side? I don't know what the bright side is.
Just pretend Younghoe Koo didn't make that and we still won the game.
I posted in my Falcons chat. I was like, cut him as soon as he paid the thing. And one of my Georgia buddies was like, he hearted it, and he's like, I respect your continued hatred. I respect it. So anyhow, but
so if they were smart, they'd sell high. Some other team that needs a kicker, whatever, and be like, hey, we got this guy.
Just do it 1-for-1 with Denver and get Will Lutz back over here and cleanse him of the nastiness that he had from his time in New Orleans. But anyhow, one of the things we talked about this in the group chat that it's so frustrating. Whenever we get a little bit of momentum or we bring a big crowd to the stadium, everyone talks about our attendance, how horrible the attendance is. We actually get a good crowd. It was a great crowd. It was, for us, it was a fantastic crowd. And then we pissed the bed again. And you give a loss. I think, we had Ahmed on last week, and he was talking about bringing some friends to the game. The last time they came to a game was when we played Troy last season, and Troy beat the snot out of us. So their expectation, or what they see by coming to a Georgia State game, is show up and we lose. So I'm tired of getting that momentum or getting that excitement and coming in there and losing the game. It's so frustrating.
It's frustrating, especially when it's them too. On top of it, like a good crowd and one of our rivals, and then I don't know. We didn't piss the bed. We shat the bed. I mean,
well, I do think, and I say this all the time because I feel like this all the time. It's a 17-point score difference, but it doesn't feel like, after that third quarter, it doesn't feel like it was really a 17-point score loss. It felt so much closer, and then the team just kind of rolled over and gave up. And so I don't count some of those points, just like Ryan doesn't count the interception, which I agree with. I hate that interceptions get ruled when it's not the quarterback's fault. But
that is what it is. And
it is.
I guess it is the quarterback's fault, sorta. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just a weird one.
It was garbage time.
Like, he knew it was a high risk one, but it was also lower risk because there were like seconds on the clock. So it's like, whatever. Like,
but it's like turnover. It's like when you have those weird plays where, like, the ball is tipped and then it bounces off the other guy's calf and it just falls into the hands of the. And I'm like that was not a poorly thrown ball. That was not something bad. It was just weird. But it gets ruled as an interception. It goes against the quarterback. Stats I don't give a crap about, but at some point you got to kind of figure out a way to, they have like their earned run average and the ERA in baseball. Like they're not penalizing pitchers for the outfield just missing easy catchable balls. At some point you got to not ding a quarterback for interceptions that were not his fault. Anyhow, that's a whole different thing.
He's still, gotta give him some credit, right? He still made some amazing throws in the game, put the ball where no one else could get it, but it definitely was not his best performance by far. I just looked up his QBR rating. It's the lowest this season, closely followed by Chattanooga. But completion rating was down. Everything was down for him. But I think a lot of it is just him being forced to do so much that he didn't have to do in any of these other games. Mm-hmm. We had a running game with Tech. We had a running game with Vanderbilt. It just evaporated in this game. We became way too one-dimensional for them.
Well, can we agree that this was their Super Bowl and they came prepared and we were not prepared for the game?
I guess.
I was looking for that one stat. If you recall, like some Southern fan, one of the years we beat them, they're like, yeah, but we outgained you X yards on this one stat line. We did it. We outpassed them.
You're right. Ignore the points, but you guys had more, special teams yards, so you guys win. Yay!
I think what they like to say is, even though we're winning the series, they've apparently outscored us.
Yeah. Well, and that's, they did make a good point. When we win, with the exception of the 34-7 win, that very first one, when we win, it tends to be a close game. But when they win, it's like a 2-3 score or more.
Point. Wins or wins.
Oh no, I agree. But I see where they're coming from. But also, it's really skewed by that first win, that 60 something to 20 or 30, whatever the points were on there when they put up 30 more than us. But yeah, anyhow, back to that. They still do not own the series. We lead 6-5. They've never won 3 games in a row. We've done that twice.
Yeah.
So we're due up. We'll just go beat them
We're doing W
in Statesboro next year. Which we talked about this recruiting class that McGee has. Like right now is the absolute best recruiting class, not only in Georgia State history, but in the Sun Belt right now. So you give him a full year, get some more of his guys in there, do a lot better. But man, that sucked. That sucks so bad.
I remember drunkenly talking shit about the coaches, but I don't remember what it was.
I think you said you wanted to fire him. You told me to remind you of that before the podcast.
Oh yeah, that's right. You
Yeah.
did right.
But
that's
you
what
were
you
going
said.
to not fire him.
I remember
Yeah.
saying that, but I don't remember why. I remember like thinking about like Vandy, right? Because Vandy, I think the coaches almost shit the bed then, and it was not the players at all. I'm pretty sure
Right.
that the players like had that game in hand. I think won despite the play calling. I don't know who's doing the play calling, so but I feel like I had some shit to talk about the coaches.
No,
for this game.
you said that you felt like one of us needed to take the position of it's time to fire McGee, and you wanted to be that guy, and I was cheering you on, and then we told Tim that, and Tim's like, "Oh God, no,
What?
don't do
Yeah,
that."
fire the coaches. You can't just lose against TDS and be a Georgia State coach. Fuck these. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I got into character a little too hard.
You fall into it so easily, don't you?
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Oh, here we go. Hey there, little guy.
So I mean, yay, we have a week off to figure out what went wrong.
Full flush. Flush the whole
listening-
damn thing out.
Listening to McGee, at the press conference afterwards, he didn't make any bones about it. We sucked. They were the better team. We have to look at everything, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But here's what sucks to me. ODU, who's last place in the division, are they last place in conference? Last place in the division, at least. They, they're
1-3. Yeah.
1-3. ESPN now has them favored in Atlanta against us. I mean, it's a pick'em game. They have a 50.9% chance to win, but still, Old Dominion has a ESPN prediction, better rating to beat us, and they're not alone. The only team we predicted by ESPN to win the rest of the season is Arkansas State, which is weird to me. When they have us getting just ODU and UConn, they have UConn beating us.
I just don't
there.
see it. Even in a real shitty loss, like I feel like against TDS, we definitely did not play up to our potential. But that is to say, I've seen our potential and I've seen what we've been growing towards, and like I just think it's insane to have seen like our body of work and be like, oh, they're gonna lose against ODU. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, we shouldn't have lost against ODU last year either, but
I know, but like,
so.
but on paper, you still might have said like, oh, we should have won that, right? Like that's what we're doing beforehand is saying.
We also would beat them. I mean, I don't think the computers know what to do with us with all the coaching changes, player turnover, then the results from their first 4 games. Like I think they're just struggling. I mean, the Southern game definitely skews things, and I can see why now ESPN doesn't predict us to win. Because when you take a 29-yard rushing game and then back that up with the other 3 games, computers probably like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Well, the other thing is we have shit the bed before, and I feel like there were still more glimmers in that game of like what our team could and should be. Like in the beginning of the third quarter, but there were lots of like starts and stutters, and like it looked like we maybe were gonna start doing things, and then we just wouldn't. But like I don't know, like I feel like even watching that game, there was still a lot to like. I hate saying that.
There was stuff to like, but like I said at the beginning, it's the first time I feel like that we've gotten worse from week to week.
Yeah,
we looked better every single week. We've looked better until this one, and we looked like we had no idea. We looked like the type of team that you would expect to see with a coach that came in during the middle of spring practice, which was in February, which is not spring. Anyways, it looked like we did not know what we were doing, and if we had just come off the Vandy win, I could see that whole trap game scenario, feeling good about ourselves. But we talked about this last week. Well, Tim, you weren't here. You were living it up in the beach. But we talked about it last week. We were glad we had that week off. It's a perfect timing to do it. get everybody to settle the emotions down, forget about that win, and just move on and focus on, the big game against Trash. But
maybe we didn't.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think you just saw Vayer's worst game this season.
I hope so.
That's it. It's got to be it. There's no way.
I'll take it. If that's his worst game,
Tim.
Huh?
You looked it up? His completion percentage? Did you look it up?
It was like 51.
Yeah. Usually I math it out before, but I just didn't. But that's not great.
Yeah. No, it wasn't good. I mean, he was forced into a lot of stuff that he didn't even want to do, and they were getting to him also. And I think that combined with obviously throwing 80% of the time or higher just did him in.
Yeah.
Good practice though for him, throwing a lot of balls out there.
I mean, it sounds like it was our line on both sides. So
it was,
yeah.
Gotta protect him.
Gotta figure that out.
Football's dumb.
I
love it.
Football's great.
I mean, I know it is. I just love dumb things. Like my kids. I love dumb things, So I don't know. So Tim, you said you think this is the worst game we'll see for Vayer. So this one game does not make you feel like it's not changing your opinion on the season, on the team, on McGee. Like this is we hit our low. We'll rise above it. We'll continue going, and we'll be better the rest of the season because the schedule doesn't get any better. I mean, outside of ODU, which we're predicted to lose, the schedule gets into its hardest part of it. 4 games on the road, some short weeks too.
I am perfectly fine where I'm at with my predictions. I mean, I missed this one, Georgia Southern, but I'm not going to jump off the proverbial Georgia State cliff.
Rivalries are always weird too. So this is always going to be a weird game where stats jump out in weird ways because rivalries just that's the nature of the game. And so I think looking at some of those other games and seeing the momentum that we had is probably more accurate. But also, I'm a homer, so whatever.
Yeah, we all are. I mean,
I know exactly.
I'm not
I
worried.
want to see the most positive thing, but I feel like everyone here is totally capable and has been brutally honest about the program many times. And
right, we're going to compete with the rest of the schedule.
Yeah,
whether we win all of them, well, that's a different story. But I'm not worried about Old Dominion. I'm not.
Okay.
I think the team's going to bounce back in a big way when we get to Old Dominion.
Probably embarrassed.
They probably are a little embarrassed.
They better be embarrassed.
They let us down so much.
I'm embarrassed. But so
good tailgate. Lots of good food.
Tailgate was good. Booze was aplenty.
Yeah.
We actually drank through a bunch of it this time. It was a good time. Always a good time. Had some wings. Ryan had some wings. I had some wings. Ryan wasn't going to eat mine until I told him that I browned the butter for the hot sauce, and he was like, "Oh wait, I got to try that now."
I put one of my wings in it. No, I'm just kidding. I did.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. You're an asshole.
I did not do that.
That would be amazing.
I didn't really. I bought the what's it called? Famous Dave's chicken rub. And it wasn't that great. It was very salty, so I was generous with the seasoning as I usually am, and it was very salty. So
it was a good time. We'll do it again. We have a week off. I don't know, recover, watch some other games. There's no Falcons or Georgia State this week, so I have no excuses to not do yard work this Saturday and Sunday. It's a real bummer.
Yard work's terrible. You could just be like, it's terrible.
No, you need to watch the App State Marshall game. Yeah.
So let's talk about App State a little bit, man. They had to cancel their game against what's their name, Liberty,
some school, some religious school,
and that sucked. They got hit hard. Was that actually going through already? Are you guys seeing the banner? No, not seeing the banner.
Yes,
see the banner.
Oh, okay. What's going on?
Why is it green?
I don't know. Is it supposed to be green? Support those open.
Seems like things are usually blue for us.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, either way, Appalachian State, Boone, that whole region of the country got demolished by Helene, and they had to cancel their game against Liberty. They were supposed to host Liberty. It was probably the only Sun Belt game going into the season I cared watching, just to watch Liberty lose, because that's the game that they thought that were could keep them from winning the that college football playoff spot. But if you look at the videos, understandable why they had to cancel that game. But there's big question marks on whether or not Appalachian State's going to be able to finish their season, or if they are going to finish it, how they're going to finish it. They may be playing on the road in their season, same way Tulane did after Katrina, and I think ECU did during a hurricane they received over there. I talked to the guys at the Black and the Gold podcast, the Appalachian State podcast. They put together a GoFundMe to help support those in Boone. I posted about it on Twitter before we started this. There's a link up on the banner right now, boonerecovery.com. 100% of the money goes to those in Boone directly. So, I donated out of my pocket $100 in the name of State of Atlanta. I encourage anybody that has the ability to do so to do something for them. But it's wild what's going on over there. It's absolutely crazy.
Unfathomable what happened up there. I mean, I kept seeing the video, I don't know if it was on Friday or Thursday night into Friday, of like, I would see in the little square on the Weather Channel and have like the Boone downtown camera. I'm like, holy shit, there's like water in the place that David and I walked around drinking.
Right.
I'm like, people are driving through it and stuff. I'm like, oh, man, I hope all those people get out of there. Don't stay in that. That's like the worst thing to do. So
people think it's like highlands, so like the water will go away, but they also don't realize that it's lots of like dips and valleys that fill with water as lots of it comes down, so they get a lot of flooding.
Yeah. So when I first saw the videos, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that we see this every time a flood comes or a hurricane comes through.
Sure.
You get a couple of feet of water, but it recedes by within a couple of days. But in being in the mountains in the high country, like you said, Ryan, you just assume, oh well, it's
it'll run off somewhere.
It'll run off. But they don't build these cities like on the edge of the mountain for the most part. They're in the little valleys and nooks and crannies. So unless you've got irrigation, or not irrigation, but plumbing that gets the water out of there quickly, fast enough, that water just sits there. You're just creating a new temporary lake, and that's what's happened there.
And you can't really build for that. I mean, it's totally overwhelming anything a human can build.
They say this is 1 in 1,000 year type thing that happens in that area. So yeah, you can't. It's not realistic to do that. But they're talking about like some apartment complexes that students live in. They're going to have to. They've already evicted all the kids, and they're going to demolish the entire. There's no rebuilding it. They're starting from scratch. So it's crazy out there, and that sucks. I don't want to get all into all that. We've already talked about it a lot, but there is a football aspect of it, and the football is the last thing that they need to be thinking about right now. But it affects us. We're scheduled to play up there.
We're the first home game.
We're their first home game scheduled right now, and at this point, it doesn't sound like we will be playing up there. There's some talk of them playing their game, and this is a lot of just rumors and chatter. This is not anything coming from any official sources, but there's talk about them finding an alternate location to play games. There's talk of Wake Forest because their away games and bye games line up with Appalachian State's home schedule, and that's like an hour and a half. Wake Forest is like an hour and a half from Boone. If it was a straight shot, probably be like 5 minutes, but those hills take forever to go up and down, and or playing games away down. If they could play that game here in Atlanta, and Charlie Cobb being the guy that the App State guy he is, I just assume he's going to do everything in his power to help them out. I don't know. It'll be weird to see.
I mean, conference mate. I feel like we should figure out, even if he's not from there or whatever. We should be bending to try to get that game going,
right?
And wherever they want to do it, wherever is easiest to handle. I don't think we should cancel it, but I think we should be.
Yeah, we should just play the game at our place, flip our seats to the visitor side, call it App State Field.
No, this is crazy talk.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I think some places did that during like Katrina's type stuff. Whatever they kind of rebranded their stadium or something with the opposing team colors and stuff to kind of like make it feel like a home game. I think this may have been more of a professional thing than it was a college sports thing, but to try to give that kind of hometown feel. And I don't think you've got to go that far.
No.
But you could do something, make it a fundraiser, ask for donations to Boone Recovery or what have you, Red Cross or something to help support those kind of guys. But it's a big question mark. It's a really big question mark about whether or not that game's going to get played. As of right now, from what I'm told, App State has been able to practice on their field this week, and they're practicing as if the game is going to be played. They're playing at Marshall on Saturday. So, man.
I'm actually thinking about it, and donating the stadium to them for our game, I think would be cool. Like, let them do the play, like the announcer, paint the field,
bring in their guys and everything.
Paint the field, do the ribbons. I'm like, I at first I said, I was like, hell no, why would we do that? And now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that sounds cool as shit. Like, I don't know, it seems like a good feel-good story.
And then we'd finally have we'd have a member school in the Sun Belt that will never say that we have a crap stadium.
They'd be like, I don't know, it's kind of nice.
Ooh, we kind of played it. They'd let us use the club, and we really liked the club.
Oh, App State fans are used to using the club with Charlie already.
That's very true.
Yeah. Well, and you don't even have to do like full App State on everything. You could just put brand everything as Sun Belt. Put a Sun Belt logo in the middle. Put Sunbelt logos on in the end zones or something like that. If you didn't want to go all the way Appy State on it, I'd be fine with
half and half. Do Georgia State on one side, do Georgia State on one side, App State on the other.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd be okay with that. So you guys are okay with that? I'm okay with that.
In the middle of the field, I think that'd be.
We should suggest it to our athletics department.
Yeah.
Well, they listen. They got to keep tabs on us, so they know.
They keep a pulse on us. They know what we're up to. They know what we're drinking, when we're drinking, how much we're. Well, they probably just assume we're drinking too much.
They make a lot of assumptions on how much we're drinking, and I'm sure they're always on the under.
I think some people would be really mad at that, but they wouldn't be able to say anything, so it'd be fine. I mean,
so you like that? You like that even more? Like I like pissing people off when they have no way to respond to it.
Well, I bet like TDS people would make fun of us for it or something, and it's like, yeah, you guys suck.
Yeah. Screw those guys.
But it would be kind of interesting if you just sat App State people on the home side, right? Because it's a game that's away, so we're having to buy tickets to go to their game at our stadium, right?
Oh yeah,
I do not technically have tickets to an App State game, so
none of us do. So I mean, we're basically buying tickets that the game doesn't exist really.
And you could do that. That could be
and donate it.
Again, a fundraiser to the Red Cross or to the Boone Recovery or whatever it may be to help those people out. So yeah, I don't want to get into how bad it is.
$10.
Yeah, there we go. Let's price tickets at $10, and then we'll let Georgia State administration see that when you don't put these huge barriers to entry by charging $45 a ticket, people will show up to a game. That the place could be crowded and oh, look at that. If we didn't charge astronomical prices for this kind of a game, people will actually show up and watch it.
Get some halftime entertainment. Get a concert going on. I don't know.
Yeah,
sounds like a good fundraiser.
A better home game than one of our home games. Okay, it's
didn't the App States, they got some fancy country guy or rap guy or something. They got a country
Luke Combs
star.
Or something. I don't know.
He's trash. That's trash. I don't know. I feel like there's somebody who was famous that came out of Appy State. I mean, and by famous, other people know who the person is because I don't know who the hell it is.
I'd be all for this idea. I love it. I think we should do it. I don't know how to get us to do it, but we should do it.
Awesome.
Unless they can play the game at their place, but I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
It sounds like from everything. I mean, it's horrific up there. There's no reason to bring extra people into Boone right now. Like the city, the town cannot support having people coming in, and that's and even if they said, all right, we're going to play the games like COVID year with no fans in the stands, you don't even want to bus in another team.
Right.
They don't want to bring anybody in. They're struggling in every aspect. So I think playing games in Boone this season is probably not going to happen. We'll see. But we are, like you said, Tim, we're the first team. We'll kind of set the stage for there. So we'll see. It sucks. Oh, man, I just noticed that Trash Down South is number 1 in the East.
Boo.
Ooh. Gross.
It's our fault, isn't it?
Close that browser tab quick.
I know. I actually copied and I didn't realize I was copied and pasted standings in my notes, and I didn't realize at the time.
I guess
That
because they're the
sucks.
only team in the East that's played a game and they won.
They only team in the East that's won a conference game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Have lost, and we lost.
in the West, it's Monroe. Monroe is first place in the
Hey,
West.
man.
Who saw that coming?
Don't overlook the Warhawks. Just watch out. They're on a war path.
The Warhawks on a war path.
Craziest thing to me is Troy sitting there at the bottom of the West at 1-4.
They were so dominant. Like, didn't they win last year? They won the conference last year, right?
Did they? Was them or South Alabama? I can't
I
remember.
feel like South Alabama.
Maybe it was South Alabama.
Troy
Maybe
State's
South
like
Alabama.
always good though for some reason.
They're not good this year. I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, Monroe is just the craziest story ever at 3-1.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing positive to say about any program or anything from the state of Louisiana, but I can acknowledge weirdness, and that is so weird for that to be happening.
Just when you thought they were left for dead, they surged forward.
Oh, they beat Troy last week. They beat Troy 13-9. Just blew them out of the water. Beat them by 2 safeties. A big game last week also was James Madison put up 63 against Ball State.
I thought they were supposed to be bad this year.
I know. I've been expecting them to be bad every year, and they won't go away.
70 the week before, right? I mean, they're just scoring a shit ton of points.
Yeah. So that game scares me because we got that one. Is that on a short week? We got that one. We got Marshall on a short week. Appy scheduled to be a legit game. No, UConn on a short week. We technically have one extra day to prepare for Jimmy Madison.
The Purple People.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. That's a rough slate, that 4 games.
I'm looking forward to it. All right. Well, we can talk about football next week. We don't have any games this week to worry about. On to one of my favorite subjects. Ryan's excited about it. Scheduling, basketball scheduling. He dips out. I honestly don't have that much to say because we've talked about the conference schedule already, and how they don't know how to use a calendar or a map or something at the Sun Belt Conference offices, and we end the season with 4 games on the road and have 5 games on campus to start the conference schedule while students are not on campus. That's dumb as hell. But no. Looking at the out of conference schedule, it starts in 3 weeks from this Saturday. Basketball is in 3 weeks from this Saturday. Yeah, it's on the date of. It's on the date it's on the date we're supposed to be playing Appalachian State in football. So maybe we get a 2 for if the game's played down here. Maybe we go watch some football and then walk on over to the Convocation Center like we did with Georgia Tech. Was it last year?
Yeah,
2 years ago.
That was a day.
That was a day.
I hope it's a reverse though if we do this because I think it's 2 p.m. game with USC Beaufort and play a night game with that. They love night games, right?
Yeah. Well, whatever you can do to get the most momentum going on, it makes sense. Let's see. There we were playing at Jacksonville State. It's like an hour and a half away from here. That could be like a good little quick road trip. Is on a Wednesday night. Don't know if that's worth doing it. Do you think that now that Jacksonville State is Conference USA, do you think that's a school that we should schedule more in like just general sports? Not necessarily football, but like just general sports.
I don't want to say it, but no.
I'm with you, but
they have the weirdest logo.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit. Put your mascot in it somehow.
They found the most obscure and I don't want to say offensive, but questionable mascot in all of college football with the South Carolina Gamecocks. And we want to do that. We want to be one of the Go-Cocks of Alabama. That's what we want to be. So
I'm not interested in playing them at all. It doesn't do anything for me.
No.
Period. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I get we gotta have games and stuff, and trying not to take anything from them. I'm sure their fans love their program just as much as we do, but I just It doesn't do anything for me.
No.
So Jacksonville State should not be somebody that we kind of put on a regular rotation.
Mhm.
Again, outside of football, I'm just like your basketball, your baseballs, and stuff like that. You don't no interest in them.
I don't care.
I agree.
But I am
agree.
excited that we have Toccoa Falls.
Toccoa Falls, and I think it's actually a legit game, not even an exhibition game. It's straight up. We do not have the what do they call it, the Capital City Classic or whatever it was.
The Thanksgiving thing, or
No, the multi-team event that we hosted
the
at
MTE. Yeah,
we hosted at our place. They're not doing it this year at all.
weird.
Period. We didn't really get good teams to show up.
No, nothing of interest. I was kind of hoping it would turn into something where it could get some other teams from the state to come.
Oh, that'd be great. I was just hoping we get other power conference teams to kind of come down here and get
one of them.
Get a Kentucky or a UNC or Memphis or something like that to come down here and play along with some other mid-major type programs along with us. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But we were getting Asheville's. Well, we get like Texas A&M Commerce. Like they weren't even like the real Texas A&M. They had just transitioned to Division I. It was like their first season as Division I. I think it's the only team.
You just shouldn't say who they are.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was saying you shouldn't tell us who the real team is. Just say Texas A&M.
Yeah.
-C. That's what they should do. That's what Texas A&M Commerce should do. They should do like the little Circle C copyright thing as their logo. They're like, we're Texas A&M C, and that C just stands for commerce instead of copyright. Okay, that joke fell flat. Sorry. Go ahead, Ryan. What were you going to say?
I'm sure most schools in Texas are either Texas A&M or University of Texas. It's like if there was the University System of Georgia, USG. If we put USG dash whatever it is in front of everything, that's how Texas like just does things.
Well, that's like New York with SUNY schools.
Yeah, I mean
State University of New York. I think everybody but Buffalo. Remember, maybe everybody but Syracuse is a SUNY school.
SUNY something. Like yeah. So Texas is the same way, but there's two systems.
Yeah,
so two boards of regents and all that stuff.
But then you still have Texas State, which is not part of that.
I don't know.
And then Rice, but Rice is a public school, private school. Rice is a private school, so they probably wouldn't fit into it anyways. Irrelevant. I don't care about that kind of crap. Let's see what other notes we have.
Are we all going to go on a road trip just for Thanksgiving?
Which road trip? Oh, the Jacksonville Classic.
Yeah, piss off all our families.
Yeah, I need more. I need more reasons to piss off my family. That sounds like a good idea.
Did you see the teams that are in it?
No, I keep on looking up and I can't find out who they are because the website has the bracket from 2023.
Rhode Island.
Okay.
Detroit Mercy Titans.
Never sounds like a thing we'd have at our house.
Austin P.
I've heard of them.
What are these people? They used to be in our conference, the Mavs. Arkansas.
No, that was
Little Rock. No, whatever they are.
No, it was the Texas team. It was Arlington.
Arlington, yes.
University of Texas, Ryan, at Arlington.
Orange and blue people, and Tulsa.
So I was looking it up, and Texas State University System is another one. And it's like 8 of them, and Lamar is in it. Sam Houston State is in it, and a couple of others that we might have heard of. But Texas, so that's just like another university system is the Texas State University System.
Go Armadillos!
Yeah, right.
Our logo is prominent on the website. It's in the middle. I like that.
Is it updated now? It was not updated last time I checked.
I mean, update's a strong word. It's got logos. That's about it. So Rhode Island, Tulsa, Detroit Mercy, Arlington, and Austin P.
Is it in that arena where the shot happened?
I don't know.
It makes sense. Jacksonville, right? Like, who's the host?
Who's new location? The Florida State College at Jacksonville is located on the FSJC South Campus. There you go. It is not in that arena.
Who's the host team of this?
No one.
Okay. Jacksonville is like that weird place in Florida where you're like, hey, I'm going to go to Florida. Like, oh man, I love a beach trip. Where are you going to be in Florida? Jacksonville. Oh, Sorry, I'm out. Like, you have a nice river. That's good, I guess, for you. I think there's some manatee in there.
So this place is pretty. It's in the middle between downtown Jacksonville and the beach, just like smack dab right in the center.
The beach of Jacksonville.
It is not near anything.
Okay.
It'll be great. Let's go. Y'all in? It's 2 days, day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's like it's the Tuesday and Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally in.
We got nothing to do.
I'll be there with all 3 kids. Does that sound like fun? You guys in? We
I'm
all
sure.
hang out.
I'm sure
Let's
they
all
have
share-
childcare.
Let's all share an Airbnb or something like that. We can get some pack and plays set up and get the kids locked in there. Good to go.
I'm actually curious. It's silent. I want to know what this arena looks like.
I'm going to play the part of Ryan right now. Well, Tim, I think it's going to have some hardwood floors and probably 2 baskets on the either side of it, and maybe a seat or 2 around it.
I just want to know if it's better than Coastal Carolina's arena.
It's got to be better. What was the Texas? Was it Texas State or UTSA or who was it? Who was the Texas school that like played it in a theater, and it was like on a stage?
Oh, was that like UTA or UT?
Yeah, Arlington or
Yes.
something like
It
that.
was
Yeah,
one of those basketball.
It was Arlington. Yeah.
they played it the same place they did Phantom of the Opera and crap like that. It was
It looked cool.
it looked
I mean,
weird.
Nothing I wanted, but I was like, "That's neat and different."
No, that's different. Yeah, different. You nailed it on different. So, all right, we're approaching 50 minutes. This is kind of our sweet spot. Yeah. I still have some realignment news, and I can't remember if we've talked about the covered practice facility. That
we did make fun of it a lot.
We did talk about it a lot. Okay,
yeah,
I couldn't remember.
Well, no, I made fun of it a lot. I don't know if we
I figured that you would have made fun of it a lot. I had a lot of questions to ask you about it. So
was that last week or the week before?
It was not last week.
It was probably the week before.
Yeah.
I just we just made fun of Georgia Southern a bunch for this, and I'm going to use their name because we're behaving like them.
As long as we don't call it an indoor practice facility, I'm okay.
I don't know if we won't. I wouldn't buy it. I bet we would call it that.
The people in Statesboro would call something without walls indoor just because there's something that keeps the rain off of them. You know,
I got like one fair thing to say about them. They made fun of that shit too.
Yeah.
So like everyone, even they were like, guys, no. And so we're gonna follow up. Come on.
They are still trying to justify their basketball arena as actually being a nice new addition, and
that thing is ugly.
It's probably better than the sports arena, and that's not exactly what you're going for. You know,
it's getting close to being completed, isn't it? I think, isn't it?
I think it's supposed to be. Would it be for this season? I don't know. Hey, well, we get our parking deck this season, and we get some tailgating on that parking deck for what is it? Bow State College and University. USC Beaufort. I don't know how you pronounce them. Anyhow, all right. I think we're done here. We'll do last call. There's some realignment stuff going on. Some stuff happened today. We can talk about that. We can talk more about this stupid.
I know the teaser. Your Bobcats.
Effing game. Oh. All right, Tim, you want to take us out of here?
Sure. Thanks everyone for listening. We're gonna get some more beers. Probably use the restroom. Maybe get more cocktails. Screw beer. Let's do cocktails, guys.
Cocktail hour.
Cocktail hour. If you like what you heard or you didn't, sign up for patreon.com/State of Atlanta anyway. You get live access to Last Call, discounts on merch. We had a great merch run. Awesome shirts made by David and his CCO, I think. CSO office. Created some great shirts. Free booze at tailgates and more. It's $5 a month. Support the show. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.